That's the psychology behind it. So that's how I explain, shine, heat, comeback, finish.
Yeah, and it's like that baby face, after finally being ground down for so long and the heat, it continues to mount, and hopefully that baby face is over, the crowd gets behind him, here comes the crowd, all of a sudden here comes the baby face, he eats that, a whole spot or two, and then comes the big spot for the comeback where seemingly, with the momentum of the crowd behind him, he's eating an invisible can of spinach.
Yes.
He's been beaten to death, but now he's going to make that fucking...
But in stages. He can't go from zero.
That's the premise behind the comeback, and it's got to be done with a believable fire, and there's a difference between, I think, and I think it's individual to each guy, real fire and manufactured fire.
I want to talk about how the psychology of pro wrestling relates to Dragon Ball's action, right? So we always talk about how the babyface usually gets beaten the crap out of early on and then makes a huge comeback at the end and win. But sometimes there's interference. Sometimes, you see Goku versus Frieza. He was they test each other right? Remember, there's a lockup in pro wrestling, and Dragon Ball is the warm up, right? And then you got the heel, the getting shine, all this stuff, different wrestling terms. So
I know what you mean. The audience might not know,
Yeah.
but what you're trying to say is, and this is something that Dragon Ball and Z did very well.
Masterfully.
I don't think Super quite did it as well, because the difference between Dragon Ball and Z and Super is that Dragon Ball and Z had Toriyama's original manga to adapt.
And they
Super
also
just
had suspense. They also had suspense. Dragon Ball Super, I made a point in another video, it has what I call negative suspense, where they're stuck in that 10-year gap. And it's you kind of know what's going to happen, so it takes away that element. It's like if the crowd knows the babyface is going to win. Super seen in 2010.
Right. They know he's not going to die. He's not going to die. But
Exactly.
the point I was trying to make, though, is the way Toriyama structures his fights, I've noticed this, is, again, you go back and watch Dragon Ball and Z, like you said, the early fight is usually them being more grounded in martial arts, and then you start to slowly see the power going, okay, I'm going to power up, I'm going to power up, I'm going to transform, and each fight is layered. And then in the tournament, you'll literally have guys saying, well, that's a good technique, but let me show you my technique. And that's kind of like wrestling, except they're not talking to each other. Well, they are, but not with their mouth. In wrestling, they're using their body language, when Cody Rhodes is the selling, and when he gets up and he hits the Cody Cutter, Cody hitting the Cody Cutter is almost like Goku hitting a Kamehameha, oh shit, he may have hurt him, but it's a 2 count. So I always love fights that are structured like that, and Super didn't really have that, because Toriyama's manuscripts were very, very simplistic. It was like Goku fights Goku Black, and then he let the animators do it.
I think
if you read
GT,
the manga, it's different. Yeah,
in GT they had that a little bit with Goku, kind of and that's where it's going to bring me up to the babyface making their comeback, right? Like a transformation, a Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan transformation is essentially a comeback, right? When they transform,
I think so.
Right? It's like a Hulk up.
No, I think one of the best babyface moments in Dragon Ball during Goku versus Piccolo is when Piccolo hits that giant blast where he nukes the entire island, and then Goku is like, I think it's right before then, Goku's like, now it's my turn, and he does that Ricky Morton move where he comes in, hits him with the big, I think it's called the Meteor Combo in one of the games, the big uppercut, and then he just starts wailing on him. That is that's like a Hulk up. It really is.
No selling the crap out of people.
And then a great one. Oh, speaking of which, a great one is Dragon Ball. I'm going to get nerdy here. Dragon Ball Z episode 186. Gohan versus Cell. When Cell is doing all this theatrical shit, powering up, and then Gohan's like, is that it?
Yeah.
And then he goes for the kick, and Gohan blocks it. And he's just like not even sweating.
Exactly.
And he's like, okay, now I'm going to hit you. And he kicks the fuck. Oh my God.
100%.
I love the way Dragon Ball, when there's an episode where the heel gets his ass kicked, it's so satisfying.
It's so cathartic, right?
Bro, so a few years ago, me and my girl, she's my ex now, we watched all of Dragon Ball Z start to finish, and she would get so mad because Toriyama puts a lot of heat on the heels, bro. Like Frieza when Frieza killed Dende, it's like, she's like, this motherfucker's killing children and shit. I'm like, be patient, he's gonna get his comeuppance. And then he does in Dragon Ball Z episode 96, one of my favorites. That's the with
Did you kill Kuririn?
That was 90. That 90, I think it was 101 when God, I'm such a nerd. When he says, did you mean Kuririn? The one I'm talking about is when he's blasting, he's using the death beam, and Goku keeps dodging, and he goes, I just want to hit you once. And he goes, go for it. And he shoots him, and he hits Goku in the jaw, and he goes,
oh, I know what you're about to say.
And then he comes down like this, and then Frieza's like, what are you? And he's like, don't you know? And then he's like, you can destroy entire planets and civilizations,
but you can't
beat one man. That's the most alpha line in the entire show.
100%.
That's one of the most alpha lines in the whole show, bro.
Oh yeah.
That is one of the greatest lines.
He took his shot to the
bro.
face, And what I like about that, to add to the alphaness, he took his punch. It's like taking a punch straight to the face, or taking a chair shot to the face, like Sting, right?
Yeah.
And then, how Sting would do his thing, beat his chest, right? Straight to the face, no sell it. Like, you're my bitch.
You can't. A recent example of that I loved was in AEW when fucking Brian did the flying knee to Swerve, and in the corner, and he hits him, and Brian goes down, and Swerve goes. I was like. I was losing it, bro. I was like, I love Swerve, bro. I fucking love that guy. He's a great wrestler.
If you know what, and that
These
brings
are
me
the
to-
similarities with Dragon Ball and there's a lot of similarities, bro. Same thing with Cobra Kai.
It's crazy.
I'm trying to get all my anime and wrestling friends to watch Cobra Kai because have you seen Cobra Kai?
I have not.